Perched at an elevation over 7,200 feet, you never know what the snowy mountain range weather has in store. Today, snowfall expected as we welcome you to Laramie, a Mountain West clash as Air Force and Wyoming look to win out over the final 2 weeks and make one last late season bowl push. Senior day here at Wyoming, 16 seniors look to lead the Cowboys to a third consecutive bowl game, something that's never been done here in Laramie. Sean Kinney alongside Ohio State national champion Dustin Fox. And quite simply, Dustin, the stakes are high but pretty straightforward for these two teams. At 4-6 each, they must win out, and if they do, a good chance to go bowling next month.
Yeah, there's no doubt. These teams are both 4-6, but when we talked to the staffs this week, you wouldn't be able to tell they're 4-6 football teams. These are teams that have a chance here, 2 remaining games, an opportunity to go bowling.
Long-time rivalry between these two Mountain West foes, the 39th consecutive year that Air Force and Wyoming have hooked up. The Cowboys have had the upper hand of late. They've won 4 of the last 5, including the most recent 2 matchups last year in Colorado Springs, a 28-14 win. Air Force won the toss. They elected to defer, so it will be Wyoming. And this run-heavy offense to get started as we are underway on a snowy afternoon in Laramie. Deep kick and the touchback for the Cowboys as they will open up shop at the 25-yard line. It is an offense that has been revitalized by a true freshman, Sean Chambers, out of Kerman High School in California, the Central Californian kid. 2-0 as a starter since he's taken over 10 quarters ago. He has put up 8 touchdowns, and this offense clicking, averaging over 400 yards per game.
Yeah, it's just added a little bit more juice to their offense. They weren't getting what they wanted out of Tyler Vander Waal, and obviously he comes in. Chambers has a terrific athleticism to him as well. Over 100 yards the last couple of ball games.
2 tight ends on first down, and they will give it to the Mountain West Conference's leading rusher, and into the second wave, he gallops to the 44, a gain of 19.
If Wyoming wants to win this football game, you're going to need a lot of Nico Evans. He has come onto the scene in a big way throughout the Mountain West Conference this season. Big hole to run through, and he's a tough guy to get on the ground. And in a day like today with this weather, this environment, the running game is going to be paramount.
The top rusher in the Mountain West, second in the country, averaging over 145 yards per game. Missed a couple of games with bruised ribs early in the year. Chambers to throw for the first time, and he throws into double coverage, trying to hit James Price.
Sean, they don't throw very much. Last couple weeks, Sean Chambers has only thrown about 20 passes in those 2 football games, but on a day like today, you may have to hit some deep shots down the field.
There is an injured Falcon down. The weather today, 20 degrees, but it feels like 5 below with the strong winds. A lot of snow throughout the area. This Laramie area under a winter weather advisory over the last 24 to 36 hours. We've seen some locations surrounding Laramie get as much as 10 to 12 inches of snow. Fortunately for these two teams, not a lot of accumulation right here at War Memorial Stadium.
It's bizarre. Out west, you go 5 miles up the road and they've got like a foot of snow. And so we're prepared for the weather. We didn't know exactly what it was going to be. Woke up this morning and just a little dusting outside the hotel, and obviously the snow's falling, but not really accumulating.
Grant Teal is the injured Falcon. He made his first start last week, really played well in the win against New Mexico, and he is a little shaken up as you take a look at number 14 there as he collides with both Price and also his teammate trying to knock that ball away. And this is a secondary for Air Force that is depleted. They have lost a couple of starters to injury and turning to a junior who doesn't have a lot of game experience. Good to see him walk off in his own power. 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line. They will give it to Evans, running to that boundary side, and he is chased down. Good pursuit defense by Air Force. That's Lakota Wills.
And I think Nico Evans is a little slow getting up there after that tackle from Lakota Wills. And that's something to keep an eye on because Nico Evans is pretty much their entire offense here at Wyoming. I think it's going to be tough, Sean, running on the perimeters for both teams, frankly, because the footing, I was down on the field before the game. Even though the snow has not accumulated, it's still a little bit slushy.
So we'll keep an eye on Evans. A passing situation for Chambers. A play fake. He'll float down the sideline. Caught in stride. Tackled at the 19-yard line. It's the tight end, Tyree Mayfield.
We haven't even got a chance to get to my keys to the game, but I'll give you a little preview. Big plays for Wyoming's offense, and there on the opening drive, you see the big tight end Tyree Mayfield down the field, little wheel route, and that's a good throw. Drops it right in the bucket for Mayfield, and the big plays is how Wyoming is going to win this football game. There's one in the opening drive.
Mayfield playing in his 50th game, one of the seniors honored during the pregame festivities. Here is Javon Bigelow. He gets double-digit yards, gang pile tackling from Air Force, not before the true freshman rumbles for 11.
And Bigelow, no play on words, is the big back. He's got the size, 6'1", 215 pounds. The true freshman you mentioned is a bruising, powerful back that they are really, really high on here at Wyoming.
Had his first career start this year at Missouri, an SEC school. That's when Evans was out with the rib injury, played well, and he is a guy they're going to look to toward the future for this Cowboy program. Wyoming in business, first and goal from the 9. It's Bigelow looking for a hole, and nothing opened up. Jordan Jackson, the athletic defensive end for Air Force, the first one to greet him.
And Jordan Jackson, if you talk to some folks at Air Force, they say he's not like a lot of the other players, and that's not a knock on some of the players at Air Force, but this is a guy that you probably see playing at a Power 5 school. Big time player, 6'5", 275 pounds rather, and he's very, very athletic.
7 games this year. Jackson has registered at least 1 tackle for loss. He is the disruptor. Second down, they bring a corner blitz. Chambers to keep it for the first time, and Air Force is not fooled.
Like Parker Noren just shot his gap and saw that Chambers was not going to hand the football off, and does a great job getting Chambers on the ground. Parker Noren, there on the outside linebacker spot has been playing a lot more because there's been a bunch of injuries. Kyle Floyd's a little bit banged up there, and so Noren has come on and done a real nice job for the Falcons.
Boy, scary situation developing if you're Wyoming. You see Sean Chambers down holding his right leg. So an opening drive that has watched the Cowboys lose Nico Evans to what appeared to be an injury along the Wyoming sideline, and now Chambers on his very first carry of this game gets buckled in. Noren with the hit. Ooh, and that right leg gets caught underneath number 44 as DeMonte Meeks was driving him backwards, and trouble brewing for the Cowboys.
Oh, that's a tough one. I hate to speculate, but that looked painful, and obviously Chambers is in a lot of pain right now.
Alongside Dustin Fox, Sean Kinney welcoming you to Laramie War Memorial Stadium. Opening drive for the Wyoming Cowboys in a critical game for both of these Mountain West teams. They must win out over the final 2 weeks to go bowling next month. An impressive opening drive for Wyoming. However, they've lost 2 of their key guys offensively. Sean Chambers and the Mountain West rushing leader Nico Evans have both left the lineup on this drive, as you see Chambers just a few moments ago get bent backwards awkwardly here. Noren with the tackle, and then both Meeks and Micah Capra driving him backwards as that right leg got pinned. So now Wyoming forced to go to Tyler Vander Waal, who is 2-6 as a starter. He's another freshman, a redshirt out of Elk Grove, California. Third down, he's going to throw over the middle, caught for the touchdown. Rocket Ishmael Jr. off the bench, 6 for Wyoming.
How impressive for Tyler Vander Waal to come off the bench totally cold, and the coaches for Wyoming say, I'm just going to unleash the football. Throw the football into the end zone, a play action pass, and a big time catch by Rocket Ishmael Jr. And it is, by the way, very cold down there on the field. Impressive for him to be able to catch that football with his hands.
It's his second touchdown catch of the year. The Rocket. Not really using his speed here. It's the hands on the bullet from Vander Waal. Wyoming fires the opening salvo. Wyoming looking tough on their opening drive. Despite a couple of injuries, the Cowboys put 7 on the board, 8 plays, 75 yards. And the junior Rocket Ishmael Jr. hauls in the touchdown, an 11-yard strike, 8 plays, 75 yards. And how about the throw by Tyler Vander Waal right off the bench? Let's see how Air Force will respond. Fair catch signal for. And the Falcons will send the offensive unit out for the first time. They're coming off a huge game last week in the win against New Mexico. Put up 623 yards, 478 of those on the ground, and a big reason was a sophomore from Hampton, Georgia, in Donald Hammond III. He rushed for 145 last week, threw a couple of touchdowns, rushed for another. Talented quarterback who can do a lot of things for this Air Force offense.
And he can throw the football too now. Nevada came in relief and did a great job.
They pitch it to the sprint specialist, Caden Remsburg, and he gets double-digit yards out past the 35, knocked out of bounds close to the 40.
And we chatted with the defensive staff this week from Wyoming. They were concerned about the perimeter. Take a look at our impact players. There's Remsburg right there. Legitimate 10'5", 100-meter dash guy in high school, state champion in Kansas. Jordan Jackson, we talked about him. Nico Evans, the big tailback, got to get him the football today.
15-yard run on first down. Air Force back to work. Hammond with the option. Will pitch it, and it is Remsburg again out past midfield onto the Wyoming side. 12 more yards and another Air Force first down.
Again, you're going to see the pursuit. Good job by Granderson, number 91, down the line of scrimmage. You can see the athleticism from Granderson to get Remsburg on the ground. But they've got to be stout on the edges. That's one of the difficult things when you face this triple option attack of Air Force.
And here's the key part to that Air Force success. Can they get the fullback game going? They were able to do that last week. Cole Fagan, the top rusher on this Falcon squad, gets by.
Yeah, Scott Hazelton, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, told us they were a little bit concerned, especially in a game like this where the snow can be a factor. The edges may be a little bit tougher to run on, so up the middle, their defensive tackles have to do a really good job holding up against the fullback dive.
See the variety of formations that Air Force will look and throw at you as they run the option. Late pitch, Remsburg with the carry, and a good open field tackle is made. About 2 yards shy of the first down. That's Elijah Halliburton with the stop.
Again, you're going to see a lot of pursuit. Halliburton's in there playing the nickel spot today. He was a backup safety, but they moved him inside into their defense to basically help them in the run game. So he does a good job flowing the alley and getting Remsburg on the ground.
If you're Air Force, this typically is 4-down territory, so they have 2 cracks at it to try to get the 3 yards. Out of the I formation, they will go up the middle, power football, and a first down run by Remsburg. Getting the sophomore some touches on this opening drive. The speedster moving the chains for the Falcons.
It's sort of rare for Air Force to kind of have that one main running back. They usually rotate 5-6 guys in there. You never know who has the football, the fullback, the tailback, but Remsburg has really become the bell cow in this offense.
Fresh set of downs from the 34-yard line. This is Fagan with the carry. Fagan falls ahead for 8 yards, and Air Force is able to get some movement on that offensive line.
So let's take a look at some keys to the game as we prepared coming into this football game. I think for Air Force, the fullbacks have to have a big game up the middle with the conditions. Always want to stay ahead of the chains, right? Got to get 4 yards at least on first and second down. And then for Wyoming, we already saw a little bit of that. Big plays from their offense, and then you defending the triple option, eye control. You got to be disciplined in playing your keys.
Saucier is in motion on second down. Look at the change of direction and the burst by Fagan inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line.
Well, there's your fullback dive up the middle. We just hit it on it there in the keys to the game, rather. Up the middle. This thing's going to open up wide open. Good block down there from 77 Parker Ferguson. And Fagan, who is one of the baddest dudes you're going to find. He's a mean runner. He's physical. Picks up a big first down.
Coming off that career-high 98-yard performance a week ago. Fagan is the fullback. They go to Saucier over the left side, driving hard, trying to stretch forward, but he meets resistance, and it will be 2nd and goal. Logan Wilson was the first one to put a helmet on him.
This is an area of the field where ball security becomes vital. You're so close to getting in. All you need is about a yard here. Fullback dive again, I'd say.
Air Force looking for the equalizer. It's Hammond on the quarterback sneak, trying to sneak his way over that right side, and he is in. Hammond scores, and Air Force responds with the counter punch.
Very impressive drive here for Air Force. They did it on the outside. They did it up the middle with the fullback dive, and then Hammond just finishes off the drive with the quarterback sneak for the touchdown. There you see the official come in and give the signal. It's a way to respond for the Falcons on the road after a 75-yard drive from Wyoming to come right back with your own 75-yard drive. 9 plays, just under 4 minutes.
Jake Conkey to add the extra point. It's up and it's through. So both offenses looking good. No surprise, the top rushing team in the Mountain West flexing their muscle. Hammond with the touchdown. We're tied at 7 in Laramie. Both Air Force and Wyoming putting together 75-yard drives. We're tied at 7. Welcome back inside War Memorial Stadium. The snow is falling. My partner Dustin Fox is all bundled up. What's the story here? I don't even have my coat on, buddy.
So we've been fighting about this all week, folks. We were saying, we're going to open the windows, we're going to close them. Sean's a freeze baby. I'm a football guy, so I had to open up the windows behind me. So yeah, I've got my gear on, and we're enjoying the elements here in Laramie. It's a beautiful day as a football guy. I love the elements. I'd be out there with no sleeves, by the way. Since I've retired, I'm going with the overcoat and the scarf.
You would be, but if you notice, I have more people on my side with the window closed than you do on yours, buddy.
I got to feel it, man. I love the wind and the snow kind of breezing its way into our booth up here. We thought we'd have a blizzard. I was actually a little disappointed.
Yeah, the forecast yesterday called for a winter weather advisory, a winter storm warning, anywhere from a foot of snow up to 14 to 16 inches. We did not get that type of accumulation. Really, this is the heaviest that we've seen the snow fall in the city of Laramie in the past 24 hours, but it has not slowed down the two offenses, both looking sharp on their opening drives today.
But we've got a huge story developing, Sean, on the Wyoming offense as a couple of their key players have been injured. We'll talk about that on the other side.
Wyoming football when we return, tied at 7 here in Laramie. It is a concerned look on the face of Craig Bohl, and for good reason. On the opening drive, he watched two of his stars, that powerful combination of Sean Chambers and Nico Evans, go down. First, it was the Mountain West leading rusher. As you see that right leg get bent back awkwardly, he was forced to leave the lineup. And then inside the red zone, it's Sean Chambers, a true freshman, gets bent back. All that weight caught on the right leg. He ends up getting carted off the field. So you look at the production that they lost on that opening drive with Evans and Chambers, both those players coming off 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games.
Yeah, the good news is Vander Waal has been a starter, started the season off as the starting quarterback, so he comes in relief. But remember, he has played a bunch of football here for Wyoming.
From the 25-yard line, they will try the ground game. Not much, a yard. And the depth at running back will be tested for Wyoming with both Javon Bigelow and Xavier Valladay. Right now it's Bigelow, the true freshman from Fresno.
And Sean, I think over the last 5 minutes, the snow has actually picked up quite a bit. You can see it kind of accumulating on the field, and you always wonder about footing on this field turf down there. I was on the field before the game. It was a little bit slippery.
This Cowboy offense has struggled this year, but Vander Waal has come out gunning, and then yards after contact. A foot race to the 30, down to the 20, caught at the 14-yard line. For the second time in this quarter, it's the tight end Mayfield getting free.
What do we talk about, Sean? Big plays for this Wyoming offense. Here again, another little play-action pass. It's just a little hook from Mayfield there, and he just makes a man miss, and he's off to the races. Nearly takes this one all the way to the house. Two big throws, stones throws from Tyler Vander Waal. Comes off the bench ice cold in the ice cold environment.
97 yards in this first quarter for the tight end Tyree Mayfield. Bigelow up the middle, nothing. Falls ahead for a yard. DeMonte Meeks in on the stop. Meeks a good-looking sophomore out of Maple Heights, Ohio.
And we talked with the folks at Air Force this week, and they mentioned DeMonte Meeks, who played most of the second half last week. He was going to get more action at the inside linebacker position because he's played so well. He's really come on, and they like the way he's playing. There's a look at Troy Calhoun. Had a nice chat with him this week.
12th year at Air Force, trying to push the Falcons into a bowl game for the 10th time. He needs a couple of wins starting here in Laramie. And again, nothing for Bigelow on second down. Jackson, another stop.
So big third down coming up here. Obviously, Wyoming feels like they've got to find a way to get into the end zone. Field goals are not going to win you this one. Air Force, especially coming off their top performance of the season, 42 points last week. Already shown Vander Waal that he can make some plays through the air. Looking a little play action pass here on third down.
They will put Austin Conway as a receiver to the top of the field. They have the 6'6" target, Jared Scott, at the bottom. They run the jet sweep to Conway. Turns the corner, inside the 5. Stumbles his way, close to a first down. Looks like on the spot he should have enough as they run the jet sweep. And Wyoming with what appears to be first and goal.
What's impressive to me is Conway's able to stick that foot in the ground. You'll see it right here. And it cut back up inside to pick up the first down. Really, really excellent job there, showing athleticism and also really good job getting his footing underneath him.
You wonder who are going to be some of the players to step up with the injuries to Chambers and Evans. Certainly Conway could be one of those guys. Interesting set. They go empty on first and goal. And it will be Vander Waal on a keeper, dodging his way up ahead. And he'll be marked just shy. Second and goal as Vander Waal is denied. This crowd in Laramie thought he was in.
I thought he was in from our vantage point. I like the call, though. You go empty set, quarterback draw. I think that's a definite touchdown. The first part of his body was his behind that hits down in the end zone. Ball across the line. I think they'll take a look at that one. Yeah, here comes the officials. They'll take a look.
This crowd making their case loud and clear. Wyoming marching toward the end of the field here at War Memorial with that huge jumbotron right in front of them. The linemen saw the replay and they were up in arms. As this one will go upstairs, our replay official with J. Bruce Bain as they take another look. And the question becomes, is there enough evidence? The call on the field is no touchdown. Is there enough to overturn it?
Well, I thought from the view we had, the first view, the first part of his body was down, was in the end zone. And of course, the ball has to be across the line of scrimmage, or the goal line, I should say. This may be a good look. What do you think, partner?
I think it's 6. I think the call gets overturned. Again, I think you're right. This is the best vantage point. We don't have that down the line camera right on that goal line. And what J. Bruce Bain has to decide is that a clear enough vantage point to overturn the call on the field?
The high end zone here, I think this is your best look. If they don't overturn it, the football's got to be at the 1-inch line.
So how ironic is this for Craig Bull? His offense struggling for a good chunk of this season. Forced to go back to Tyler Vander Waal, and here's the decision. So Vander Waal comes off the bench, throws the touchdown, and now he rushes for 6. Isn't this a crazy game?
Well, at the start of the game, I thought points would maybe be at a little bit of a premium today because of the weather conditions. And here we go. We still have 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. and 3 touchdowns already on the board combined for both squads. And with the injuries to Wyoming, just been so impressive that the backup quarterback has come into the game and just ignited the offense.
Another 75-yard scoring drive for the Cowboys. Roth on for the point after. Nice job there by Spohr on the high snap. And the Cowboys go back up. Tyler Vander Waal, benched as a starter, but new life here in Laramie, coming in off the bench. He's led the Cowboys to 2 scores. Just moments after getting carted off the field, freshman quarterback Sean Chambers returns, but you see with that boot on his right leg after he was injured on the opening drive for the Cowboys, and now the freshman will become an emotional leader for Wyoming as he passes it off to Tyler Vander Waal, who has looked good out of the bullpen in this first period. The Cowboys' 275-yard scoring drive, and Dustin, what's so ironic, this is the worst passing attack in the Mountain West, yet they have over 100 yards through the air. A lot of that because of their big tight end.
Yeah, Tyler Mayfield has done a really good job, and I've just been so impressed, can't say it enough, with Tyler Vander Waal coming off the bench, ice cold, and looking really, really sharp for this Wyoming offense early in this football game.
With that win behind him, Roth sends it deep into the end zone for the touchback, but it's been this Cowboy offense which has struggled at times this year, but they set the tone early with the ground game and Nico Evans.
They did. Nico Evans gets a big run early in the football game, but then he's going to go down with an injury. As you'll see, another big play down the field to Tyler Mayfield, the big tight end. Play action pass is huge for this Wyoming offense. And then Vander Waal comes in, and he just makes some beautiful throws. Mayfield makes another big play, and then the touchdown run. Vander Waal finishes off that drive.
Let's see if Air Force can keep up, and a good sign for the Falcons early in this first quarter. That fullback dive is picking up 5, 6, 7 yards a crack.
Yeah, as you see the snow start to accumulate on the field, the edges, the perimeter becomes a little bit tougher to get your speed on the edge. And so now that fullback dive becomes imperative.
3 carries, 36 yards for Fagan. He'll pick up and add to that total into the secondary, following his tight end Wagispack, and he crosses into Cowboy territory. Another big run for the fullback, and Air Force cooking.
Just watch the interior, the push of the offensive line for Air Force, and you see Fagan down the field pushing Andrew Winger. That's their top safety, their strong safety, who's the heart and soul of this defense, and Fagan just making him pay a little bit.
68 yards for Fagan in this first quarter. Both offenses moving at will. Falcons at the 43-yard line. They will run the option. Hammond with a pitch, getting to the outside. Remsburg slips free from one tackle and is brought down at the 35-yard line.
So Remsburg is a great story. Obviously just a sophomore out of Kansas. Was a state champion in the 200-meter dash in the state of Kansas. Runs a 10.500 meter. Legitimate speed. Had a 54-yard touchdown run last week. And Sean, he had a big moment after the game. He proposed to his girlfriend.
Love was in the air in Colorado Springs last week. We'll share more on that in a moment. Second down and 2. Hammond on the power play will crash his way to a first down up to the 31-yard line. And last week, Caden Remsburg dropped down to one knee and proposed to his middle school sweetheart, Kaylee Harris, after his Falcons had a big win. Remsburg had a career best 99 yards in that game. He had the perfect game plan all set up. He had invited Kaylee's parents to Colorado Springs. He had hit the ring all day long in his backpack, and then he had all his teammates join him in quite a sight. Hammond is going to try to run for his life, and Granderson caught him. There's the playmaker up front for Wyoming.
Yeah, and they're going to need him today. Remember, he didn't play 2 weeks ago against San Jose State, and then they had the bye week. But watch 91 come in here and does a great job. Hammond, I think, was looking to throw this football, but you watch Granderson get off a block. At 6'5", 261 pounds, is a big-time athlete. I was talking to some folks this week, some NFL scouts, and they believe this is a guy that can play in the National Football League, and Wyoming's going to need him big time today on the edges.
First team All Mountain West selection last year. On second down, tough yardage up the middle for Taven Burdo, his first carry of the game. Don't forget, coming up later on ABC, our College Football Saturday rolls on with another big one. This time it's in the American Athletic. Number 24 Cincinnati takes on 11th ranked UCF. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. College football primetime presented by Walmart.
UCF looking to go 23 wins in a row tonight as the Bearcats come to town.
Third down, they will hand it off the end around, running to the short side, and Wyoming stretched it beautifully. Nowhere for Saucier to go. Adam Pillapil was able to corner him.
And not even a question here for Air Force. I think you have to go for this. Kind of in that no man's land, but what about 3rd and 6 coming up here? Or 4th down, excuse me, 4th and about 5. 4th and 5? I think you got to go for it.
We have yet to see Hammond throw the football in this opening quarter. A quick-moving first period. 4th down conversions. It's a pretty much every weekend type of deal for Air Force. Hammond will keep it, dodge inside the 20, and it looks like he should have enough for the first down. Crafty run by Donald Hammond.
He only had to get to the 22 for the first down. And you're right, he gets inside the 20-yard line. Smart decision by Hammond. He could have pitched this. He looks outside, says, a little crease there, cuts inside Granderson, and picks up the first down.
They put a lot of pressure on these ends, and we talked about the containment and the keys. As a defensive player stopping this Air Force offense, what do you have to do?
Well, number one, you have to focus on your assignment. It's about eye discipline and doing your job and allowing other players to play off of you. And what I mean by that is, hey, listen, if you got the pitch man, that's your assignment. You've got to be on the pitch man. If you're the alley runner, like we know that Andrew Wingert's going to be today, he's going to clean up everything. This is a situation where one player like Wingert, who is probably going to be cleaning up a lot of these runs, could end up with 20 tackles, but everybody else has to be on the same page doing their job to slow down this triple option attack.
A lot of offense in the snow here in Laramie. Wyoming has scored on both possessions. Air Force trying to remain perfect. The Cowboys going to the air early, only to see Air Force counter. Wyoming by 7. Senior running back Nico Evans was one of Craig Bull's first recruits in that class of 2014. The Mountain West Conference's leading rusher, showing some frustration after getting injured on his second carry of the game. He's second in the country, averaging over 145 yards per contest. So we welcome you back. Second quarter action. It's Remsburg, who's had a good first half, moving the chains, and 1st and goal coming up for Air Force.
If you talk to Troy Calhoun, he doesn't like the term triple option. He likes to refer to their offense as more multiple. And I think what he means by that is you're not going to see the standard triple option you would see from another academy, like the Naval Academy or Army, of course. But they run a lot of multiple sets. It's a lot of misdirection. And again, we talk about that eye control. That's where that becomes so important.
Fagan is the fullback, 1st down and goal, and he will get the call. Fagan diving ahead for 3 yards. Granderson and Sidney Malaulu in on the stop. Malaulu, the senior from Seoul, South Korea. A long way from home, but he's been a fixture inside defensively for coordinator Scott Hazelton.
You take a look at the Air Force offense, the rushing attack. 6th in the country, 264 yards a game. And they obviously hold on to the football for the majority of the game. But it's been a problem against Wyoming. For whatever reason, the last couple seasons, the Cowboys have done a really good job shutting down that rushing attack, holding them to 176 yards per game.
They pitch it to Fagan, and he will go into the end zone for 6. No stopping Cole Fagan in this first half, and the Falcons counterpunch one more time.
I love the quote we read this week from Cole Fagan. He says, quote, "I love hitting people." And he's an offensive guy, a running back. So we talk about the physicality. He's looking to punish people as he goes into the end zone. A very tough runner from the fullback position. And there again, Air Force responds and answers the Wyoming touchdown.
Extra point up and through for Jake Conkey, and right now it's all about the offense. Fagan with 76 rushing yards. Big kick out block from Marquez. Falcons and Cowboys tied up at 14.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
The snowfall certainly has not slowed down the two offenses. They've each had it twice in this first half. They've each scored all 4 scoring drives, 75 yards. Big game summary storyline so far. Chambers and Evans, fresh off 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, both left the game on the first drive with injuries. Tyler Vander Waal has stepped in, accounted for 2 Wyoming touchdowns, and then the play of the fullback, Cole Fagan, averaging close to 11 yards per touch. The main cog in this Air Force offense, and it's going to be a long day for Wyoming if they cannot stop the fullback on these dives, but it's been Fagan imposing his will in the first half.
It really has, and I think the game plan for Air Force, again, because of the weather, you have to utilize the fullback up the middle and try and take away the edges. And Fagan has done a great job in this offense. We know about Remsburg and his speed. We saw a little bit of that, but so far it's been all Fagan up the middle on the fullback dives.
Wyoming starts possession number 3. From the 23-yard line, change of direction, and there is nothing there. Good play by DeMonte Meeks. Second time we've called his name. Nico Evans back in there for Wyoming.
Yeah, this is a big story. We saw him leave the game. It looked like he kind of twisted his knee up or his ankle on the opening drive, his second carry of the game. But now back in. This is huge for the Wyoming offense. This is the Mountain West leading rusher. They're going to need him throughout this football game.
So 1 rep for Evans, and then he exits stage right. So here's Bigelow back in. In motion goes James Price. Second down and 11. Air Force brings a blitz toward the sideline, and a nice catch made by Price. Good hands. In difficult weather conditions, he's able to stick the glue on, setting up a third down.
I was down there on the field, Sean, before the game, and I'm thinking to myself, how are these guys going to catch the football? It was ice cold. The snow's coming down, the wind is blowing, and that is just terrific concentration. I know it's not a big play, but if you could feel how cold it was down there on the field, anytime someone makes a catch today, it's going to be impressive.
Wyoming's been perfect on third downs. Can they make it 4 for 4? They have 3rd and 6. Pressure comes, and the throw incomplete. Vander Waal paid the price. He had to get rid of it quicker than he wanted to.
That's Lakota Wills, who comes off the edge and provides a lot of pressure. I'll tell you, he had Bigelow open in the flat right away on the wheel. He just needs to get rid of the football a little bit quicker, take a little bit off the ball as well. You see it was a little bit of a fastball there for Bigelow to haul in. Would have been a first down instead. The first stop of the game. We finally see a little bit of defense. You know, something would have to give. Every possession has led to a touchdown for both offenses, rather.
Whistles blow before the snap. It's been a clean football game so far as well.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 3, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Our Mountain West crew, Cal McNeil, the referee, with the game's first penalty. What a job Craig Bowl has done. Certainly has been the right guy for Wyoming since he was hired 5 years ago. The 2016 Mountain West Coach of the Year, 2-time FCS National Coach of the Year, part of his dynasty that he started at North Dakota State. He's brought that same mentality here to Laramie, and they love him. Crow with the line drive kick. This one goes right over the shoulder of Smith, and this one will roll all the way inside the 10, down to the 9. Now Wyoming is questioning whether that ball actually touched Smith, and we'll get a couple of different looks at it.
Yeah, Smith, he's trying to just fair catch the football, and it goes right through his hands, but did it touch him?
There's the signal.
I don't think it touched him.
Nope.
And you see him let up here at the end of the play. I think he understands maybe. Boy, that's close. From that angle, it looks like he may have got a paw on the football.
It is a swirling wind, and that one certainly tricked him like you'd see a center fielder misjudge a fly ball. It went whizzing right by him, and that's a big field position changer. And Troy Calhoun can't be happy with that change.
And Greg Bull wants a timeout because he wants the officials to take another look at the replay just to see if the football actually did hit Smith. We saw a couple looks. I don't know that it hit him. I think Bull is upset, and he wants, and I understand. I mean, this is a huge change of possession here, potentially, if it did hit the return man, but I don't think it did.
Very animated. That's about as animated as you're going to see Craig Bull on the Wyoming sideline, but he was able to get the officials' attention. And they are going to take another look at it upstairs. Remember, they have a call earlier in this game overturned on the short touchdown run by Vander Waal. As we take another look at it, and did that football touch Andrew Smith?
That angle, it looks close. Now
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
So the call on the field is confirmed. It turns out to be a 68-yard punt. It is still a field position changer for Wyoming, and Calhoun's Falcons will have it deep in their own end. So the worst starting position of the day for Air Force as they open up at the 9. They go 3 receivers, and they will continue with the fullback, Fagan. He falls ahead for 3. Fagan grew up around the sport. His father, Kevin, was an NFL defensive lineman for 7 years with San Francisco. Left Gainesville area high school after his junior year to attend Admiral Farragut, which was a boarding school in Tampa with a naval focus and a huge football tradition. He did that to try to get some more interest as far as scholarships go. He chose Air Force because of the opportunity to play offense. He had a lot of FCS offers who wanted him to play linebacker, which he was very solid in his high school days, but he wanted to be a fullback. He wanted to contribute on the offensive side of the football, and Air Force has certainly given him that opportunity.
They have, and really he came on the scene last year. Yeah, Parker Wilson was the starting fullback, and Cole Fagan comes in and, of course, replaces him. What's he do? Go 66 yards and a touchdown, and they really haven't been able to take him off the field since.
3rd and a yard. These are the situations that are just made for the Air Force offense, and Hammond will keep it himself. Another first down for the Falcons. You know, it was interesting talking with Scott Hazelton, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, and with that bye week, we asked him, did you mix it up defensively? Did you look at maybe implementing another style? They go with that 4-man front, and he told us, quite frankly, no, we're going to do with what we do best.
Yeah, a lot of teams will switch it to a 3-3-5, rather, or up front, I should say, with a 3-man front. And they weren't going to change up what they do. They were just going to say, hey, listen, we're going to do what we do, but do it really, really well.
And this is only the 4-man front that Air Force has faced all year. Good pursuit defense that time by Wyoming. Tyler Hall was able to get outside and cut off the corner.
Now, Tyler Hall is playing corner in this game because of the injuries in the secondary, so they move him outside. He's usually inside, playing that nickel Sam linebacker spot. And there you see the linebacker mentality from a young man who's actually playing outside at cornerback today.
He has some speed. If you recall, he had a couple of kickoff return touchdowns last year for Wyoming. All-around athlete. They have a lot of confidence in him. 2nd down and 10 from the 21. They pitch it right side, and a lot of green space out in front. Finally corralled at the 41-yard line, but the speed of Remsburg, and he went 10 yards pretty much untouched. A pickup of 20.
Take a look at the little toss sweep outside. There's nobody within 10 yards of Remsburg. You always wonder about the weather games, right? Snow games, muddy games. I think the footing really, really hurts the defense more than it hurts the offense. You're trying to do everything backwards. You're trying to react to what the offense is doing. And I think so far you're seeing both offenses take advantage.
Yeah, the offensive numbers certainly pointing that direction. Air Force close to 200 yards rushing, and we still have 9 minutes to go in this second quarter. Falcons are going to use a timeout. Timeout taken by Air Force. 9:11 to go here in the first half. Calhoun's Falcons on the march one more time in the snow here in Laramie. It is very rare in the Air Force system to have a sophomore see significant carries, but that has not been the case for Caden Rimsberg. The sophomore from Newton, Kansas, just 5 games into the season, was on a short list of just 6 sophomores in 12 years to log more than 40 rushes in a season. It's rare for the younger cadets to get some action at the varsity level for Air Force.
It is. The first couple of years at the Air Force Academy can be grueling on you as a freshman and a sophomore. Remember, you have to do boot camp before your freshman season, and then before your sophomore year, you have to do survival training. And we had talked with some of the staff at Air Force about survival training, including head coach Troy Calhoun, and we were blown away with his explanation of what actually goes into it. They basically drop you into the middle of the mountains, in the middle of the woods, for a week with nothing but some iodine tablets and a rabbit that you have to eat. And you have to live for 7 days on your own, just like you ejected into enemy territory. And it's just wild how it can really take a toll on your body.
It's 3 weeks of survivor training to avoid capture, what to do if you are captured, and then the survival aspect of it. Lots of guys, they've had different athletes lose 20 to 25 pounds alone in those 3 weeks. So you factor in those types of survival training with the everyday routine. And for instance, Kyle Johnson, all starting at 6:05 in the morning. Look at that schedule, Dustin. It's impressive.
I don't know how they do it. I have so much respect for anybody that can play football or any sport at any of the academies.
3rd down and 3, bouncing to the outside, and this will all be dependent on the spot. Andrew Wingard with the stop, a familiar sight for Wyoming, but it looks like Air Force had enough. And the Falcons move the chains, and there's a very busy man right now on the sideline watching this offense move, and Kyle Johnson, but he doesn't have too many breaks during the day, as we just saw with his daily routine.
No, he doesn't, and so far he's enjoying this break because the offense continues to move the chains. You just saw the first downs, 10 already in the game for Air Force. Troy Calhoun says their goal is to get between 20 and 25 first downs in a game. They're already off to a great start, having 10.
Everything on the ground for the Falcons, and they will add to it. They pitch it, boundary side, Rimsberg, a nice lasso type of tackle around the waist once again by Wingard.
And we talked a lot about Wingard there from Wyoming. Andrew Wingard, I said he's my spirit animal coming into this game. This is a guy that just makes every tackle. He's been starting basically since he arrived at Wyoming. First team all-conference the last 2 seasons. And this week specifically, they had moved him into this alley type of safety where he will run down sideline to sideline trying to kind of clean up and make everything right in the secondary. They call him the eraser.
Quarterback keeper by Hammond, slicing his way ahead for a first down run. Going back to Wingard, with that last tackle, he moves into the number 2 spot all time at Wyoming. One of the key seniors for this Cowboys squad. Epps is his partner, really underrated safety in that secondary. We've talked about Granderson up front, and then, of course, the running back, Nico Evans. This is a senior class that has provided a lot of special memories the past couple of years for fans in Laramie.
Yeah, Craig Bull said that he's going to cherish every moment he has with Wingard in practice, in the film room, in the meetings, and everything. He's meant a lot to this program. All those guys have, by the way.
Fagan on first down, gets a yard. This is a senior class that arrived at Wyoming when football wasn't really going the right direction, but they made it to the Mountain West Championship game in 2016. Last year they won a bowl game, and then Josh Allen, the highest draft pick ever to emerge from the University of Wyoming, selected by Buffalo in the first round. And it's a senior class that has produced 20 wins over the last 3 years. A lot of great stories. Marcus Epps has been a big part of it, a 3-time captain, which is so rare in this day and age. But right now, this defense, including Epps and Wingard, trying to figure out a way to slow down the Air Force ground game. Passing situation possibly for the first time, will Hammond put the ball up in the air. 3rd down and 7. They need to get it to the 26-yard line.
Well, Hammond is capable. He's got a pretty good arm for a quarterback in this style of offense. Saw him against Nevada come in and let it rip right off the jump.
Wagaspak, the tight end, stretched to the top of the field. Out of the shotgun, they pitch it. Remsburg makes a cut, and he'll pick up the first down. Barrels to the 25-yard line. You see the emotion from Caden Remsburg. Another 3rd down conversion.
Is Caden Remsburg the only one not playing on snow? How does he make this cut? Look at him, sticks that foot in the ground and cuts it upfield. Everybody else runs past him, and yet he's able to cut and get the first down. Great running, great speed and vision from Remsburg. Those numbers already, 216 yards on the ground. They're already over what they had last year against Wyoming, just 176 yards.
An Air Force offense that rushed for 478, a season high in the win last week against New Mexico. Hammond gets 3 yards. And they have this Wyoming defense rattled a little bit. Let's not forget, this was a Cowboy defense that came in feeling pretty confident. They had showed dramatic improvement over the last few weeks.
Well, especially against the run. 19th ranked rush defense in the entire nation. And remember, they had a week to prepare. This is a team that's coming off of a bye week, so you have an extra week essentially to go against your scout team offense with the triple option. It's so tough to face this attack in the middle of the season. Having that bye week, I thought, would really help their defense prepare. So far, it's not really the case.
Hammond is going to throw for the first time, zips it toward the sideline, caught by Bennett, and a first down for the Falcons.
You see Hammond put the football in the air for the first time today. There's Marcus Bennett, the top target they have basically left. Ronald Cleveland again out for another game, their twitchiest athlete on the outside. So Bennett's going to have to be the go-to guy if they need to make some plays throughout the air.
This is the 15th play of the drive that started all the way back at their own 9-yard line. Late pitch to Remsburg, and this time Wyoming says, It's Wingard, able to jump on top, a loss of a yard. But boy, Dustin, when you look at this drive for Air Force, even though they don't pick up anything on this pitch, this is a textbook Falcon drive that
it is.
They have used throughout the years. A lot of plays, a lot of time coming off that clock. They're not taking a snap until that play clock is inside 10 seconds. 2nd down and 10. Ball marked just outside the 13. Quarterback power with that option look. Hammond's going to keep it. Falls ahead for 3 yards. Brought down by Garrett Krall and Ravante Holt. Kick off your Week 11 NFL Sunday with ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. Sam and the guys will have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and preview each game right up to kickoff. And like everything else, it's live on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Here we go again. Another 3rd down situation for Air Force. They've been golden today. 3rd down, they pitch it. And Wyoming stiffens up. Remsburg unable to get to the corner. That's Marcus Epps escorting him out of bounds, and the Falcons will have to settle for 3.
There, I think you see for the first time the snow on the field becoming a little bit of a factor as the Wyoming defense were able to set the edge. Remsburg tries to make a little shimmy, says, maybe not the best footing. And a really good job there from Marcus Epps, the 3-time captain, flexing the muscles a little bit on Remsburg, saying we finally got ourselves an opportunity to get off the field. Big field goal coming up, though.
28 yards for Jake Conkey, who's 5 of 7 this year. Took over the kicking duties midway through the season, and he sneaks it through that left upright. A monster 18-play, 81-yard drive, and Air Force has the lead for the first time. Air Force eats up over 10 minutes off the game clock on that last drive. They settle for 3, and There's some of the work that's being done right now as we speak, as the crews who worked during the overnight hours and the early morning to make sure this field was ready, dealing with one more dash of snow before this storm system works its way out of the area. But the fans in Laramie don't mind. They love it. That's what makes Wyoming football special.
I was blown away as I had a chance to have a nice breakfast as I arrived in Laramie on Thursday morning, and we were talking with some of the locals here about the weather conditions for Sunday. I'm like, oh, they're calling for 4 to 8 inches, and they're like, that's just another Saturday afternoon in Laramie. What's the big deal?
Another day in paradise,
yeah.
Right?
Shout out the folks at the Prairie Rose. Had the nice skillet. It was beautiful.
Wyoming trailing for the first time. Let's see what the Cowboys can do. Air Force by 3 late in the first half.
ESPN app now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
There are always friendly little reminders stapled throughout the city of Laramie and at the athletic venues to remind opponents exactly where they are. 7,220 feet elevation. Oxygen tough to find in these parts.
Can I tell you, when I was doing my workout at the hotel yesterday morning, I found it very tough to breathe rather quickly.
Vander Waal's going to take a shot deep. Had a couple of receivers, and he overshot them both. Price and Ishmael both in the vicinity. So how aggressive does Wyoming play at all 3 timeouts? They have Vander Waal back in there, the starter for the first 8 games this year. And you see what Wyoming has done. Just 3 drives, but they've been pretty productive so far.
I would say very aggressive because I don't think you have to worry about Air Force getting the football back and going the length of the field with just a minute 45 left in the first half. And remember, Vander Waal has been running the 2-minute offense even though Chambers was the starting quarterback.
3 backs in that diamond formation. They will go on the ground with it, and bouncing off a tackle is Bigelow, and he'll pick up the first down. Tough run brought down by Jeremy Fedulum.
And that's a big first down run from Bigelow because now it allows your offense to even be more aggressive. Watch the physicality at the end of this run. Fedulum comes in, and you got to wrap up, young man. That's a true freshman running back, Bigelow, but he's bringing the lumber. Big-time run.
I see that size with Bigelow, and it brings me back to Bowles' days at North Dakota State. He always had that 6'1", 6'2", big-body tailback, and that's what Bigelow can give Wyoming. Here's a little bag of tricks. Conway wanted to throw, now reverses direction, still wants to throw, floats to the quarterback, and it's incomplete.
I think I've seen it all. Listen, I like the call. You're aggressive. You try to catch him a little bit off guard, but frankly, you see it's a sweep, comes across the offensive line to do a good job not getting downfield. He comes back. I would just run it. Take off and run. Instead, you force a throw to a quarterback who has no gloves on. His hands are probably freezing. And you probably could have picked up at least 10 yards and a first down for your offense.
Let's not forget, Conway started his career at Wyoming as a basketball player, so you know he has some wheels.
Yeah.
DeMonte Meeks was his only line of opposition there, and I'm like you, if Conway tucks that, he might still be running. Second down, they get the snap off just before the play clock hits zeros. Vander Waal double clutches, throws a strike, and then the ball is knocked free. That's a loose football, and Air Force jumps on top of it. They're going to rule it a complete pass and a fumble. Lewis with the hit, Meeks with the recovery, and the game's first turnover goes to Air Force.
No, that's definitely a catch, and it's a fumble. He makes a football move, turning the football up, or turning upfield rather. That's Eberhardt. Aiden Eberhardt, number 19. Boy, you got to secure the ball. I know it's cold outside. You got a couple guys coming in, ball searching. That's Zane Lewis, number 6, who I think was the one who gets a hand on the ball. But now, listen, Hammond can throw. I would say, in terms of where you're at on the field position-wise, why not take a couple shots down the field if you're Air Force?
You're looking at least 45 yards for Air Force to get into field goal range.
And you got Remsburg here split out wide. He comes in motion.
They'll run the pitch. Remsburg trying to get to the corner, and Wyoming is there, and they will keep him in bounds and keep that clock moving unless the Falcons want to use a timeout. Wingard again in on the stop. helped out by Cash Malawia.
I'll tell you what, if Wyoming gets a stop here, if they run another play quickly, I would consider hitting a timeout because the conditions, you never know what can happen on a punt. Not that you're looking to do something offensively, but I always like to force a team to take a long snap, make the punter secure the ball and get rid of it. Instead, I think they're probably just going to take this to halftime.
So it looks like Troy Calhoun is going to be content to go into the break leading by 3, over 21 minutes in the time of possession category. He'll call a timeout with 12 seconds to go, but Air Force with the 3-point lead will step aside for this 1-minute timeout. As the Falcons will go into the break leading by 3, and it's an Air Force offense for the second straight week that has been able to move the football on the ground. Remsburg with 98 yards, Fagan has 83, both averaging around 7 yards per touch. And for Wyoming, can they overcome the injuries to their starting quarterback and the leading rusher in the Mountain West Conference? We'll find out. Air Force will get the football when second half action resumes. It's been a fun half of football in Laramie. Coming up, it's goal line right after these messages. Air Force out in front of Wyoming at halftime. The Falcons lead 17-14. Snow falling in Laramie. Don't forget you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. We'll have more from Laramie halftime in this Mountain West showdown. The Falcons lead by 3 over Wyoming. Well, while you've been sipping hot cocoa and some coffee during the halftime break, take a look at what's transpired in the last 15 to 20 minutes. It's the Wyoming version of the human Zamboni machine, synchronized shoveling to make sure that the field is clear and ready to go, plus dodging the marching band as the band always plays, no matter the weather elements here in Laramie. And this snow falling as heavy as it has all afternoon. Air Force leading by 3. Sean Kinney alongside Dustin Fox. Dustin, let's revisit your keys to the game.
Well, we knew the weather was going to be a factor. That's why I thought the fullbacks were going to have a big game for Air Force up the middle. Cole Fagan's been terrific. 10 for 83, a touchdown. Stay ahead of the chains. You kidding me? 14 first downs in the first half alone. We saw a couple big plays from Wyoming early, but they haven't had those as of late. Just 2 so far. And the eye discipline, 219 yards on the ground. Got to do a better job against the run.
Air Force on first down. The Falcons will pick up 4 yards. One other key note, if you're just joining us, Wyoming on their very first offensive series lost the Mountain West leading rusher Nico Evans to a leg injury. He tried to return, came back for 1 snap. That was it in the second quarter. And they lost Sean Chambers, the true freshman who had been on a roll. So Wyoming playing shorthanded on the offensive side of the football.
Now, this is a huge drive for this Wyoming defense. They really haven't been able to stop the run. They've got to find a way, Sean, to get off the field. We saw that last drive for Air Force before the first half ended. They went right down the field. It was like 7 minutes, holding the time of possession. I just think possessions are going to be very limited here in the second half. And if you're Wyoming, you're already down. You're starting running back. You're down. You're starting quarterback. Field position is very vital.
Wyoming still trying to figure out a way to get Air Force off the field, 3rd and short, and it's been this quarterback keeper. They used it for a touchdown early in the game. They've converted on a couple of 3rd and shorts with Hammond, and the Falcons will move the chains on the opening drive of this third quarter. And you mentioned the time of possession. It's a 3-1 edge for Air Force. This is a program that traditionally is in the top 10 in that category. That's how Troy Calhoun rolls it. And in that first half, close to 22 minutes. Play clock inside 10 seconds. Quarterback keeper over the left side by Hammond.
We were on the field before the game. It's 19 degrees. It's snowing. It's extremely cold. it's a little different in the first half when you warm up and you can have that adrenaline. All of a sudden, you go in at halftime. It's 72 degrees. You get yourself a little broth, maybe a little hot cocoa, and then you come back out in the second half. You got to try to get your body warmed up again. It is always tougher as a football player, especially defensively, to come out in the second half as you warm up, then you're cold again. Sometimes you don't want to tackle anybody, by the way.
Winter weather advisory continues until 8 o'clock Mountain Time here in Laramie. Big hole. Air Force continues to gash this Wyoming defense. Joseph Saucier with the first down run.
I'll tell you, Sean, Wyoming better start stripping at the football because they can't stop anybody on the ground right now, and Air Force is just having their way with this triple option attack. They got. I saw at the end of this run, somebody comes in, tries to get it out. I think it's Malawia who comes in there, 48, or 46 rather. Got to strip the football.
Quarterback power over the left side by Hammond. He nets a yard, brought down by Sidney Maluulu, making his 23rd career start today. Fought through some injuries last year, but has really stepped up. Remember, Wyoming shorthanded on that defensive line with the suspension to Johanna Gaffon, who was suspended prior to that Colorado State game.
You just earned your extra pay for this game with those two back-to-back money pronunciations.
You want to throw in Cash Malawia as well?
I gotcha.
Here's a little bag of tricks on the flip and the reverse. Getting to the corner, Brandon Lewis, and then he is hit hard. Big support coming by Wyoming that time, and Tyler Hall. That is a Wyoming greeting right there.
Watch how far this play goes. All the way from the backside. I love the pursuit of Hall. He comes in here off the edge and delivers the boom. Now that's over on the Wyoming sideline, by the way. Look, everybody. That can juice up the sideline, get people excited. They've got to find a way on 3rd and 7 here to get off the football field. But that was a big-time stop from Tyler Hall.
Air Force today, 5 of 7 on 3rd downs. A big one early in this second half. Sanders, the receiver, split to the bottom of the screen, and we have whistles and I believe a timeout taken by Air Force. So before the timeout could be called, delay a game, so Calhoun and the Falcons will march back 5 yards.
Prior to the delay.
Well,
timeout, Air Force. Their first of the half.
So he was able to get the timeout in. Big
Timeout
play coming
field.
up early in this second half. Air Force will have it 3rd and 7 when we return. Coming up later today over on ABC, our college football Saturday rolls on with a big one as we travel to the American Athletic Conference. Number 24, Cincinnati, takes on number 11 and unbeaten UCF at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. And that high-powered night offense.
Play the game so far.
3rd down and 7. They swing it out. Saucier makes the catch, picks up a block inside the 40, and he'll pick up the first down. Excellent downfield block by Marcus Bennett. Hammond throws the football for just the 2nd time today.
And this, Sean, sorry, buddy, it's almost like an extended run play. It's an easy throw on the outside to Saucier, and you get him in space. It's very, very difficult as a defender with the conditions as they are to break down and make that tackle. Nice play call on 3rd down.
Good downfield block by Andrew Smith as well. When you play receiver at Air Force, you better block. Look at Hammond, and he's into the secondary. See you later. Touchdown, Air Force. 37 yards, and the Falcons extend the lead.
When we talk about the eye discipline, everybody's got to be in their gap, got to be fundamentally sound. That is blocked up just beautifully by the Falcons up front. Hammond shows his burst, the athleticism from the quarterback position, doesn't pitch the football, takes off and runs. Another 75-yard touchdown drive, 9 plays for the Air Force Falcons.
10 unanswered points by Air Force, and the Falcons have their largest lead. Donald Hammond,
Timeout on the field.
for the second time today, finding the end zone. And look at the block by Wolfgang Reebok, number 69, as he took out Halliburton, and Hammond took it from there. Air Force by 10. Hammond with a couple of rushing touchdowns. Can Wyoming respond? It was a tough start for Wyoming on the very opening drive. Not only did they lose the Mountain West top rusher in Nico Evans with a leg injury, but they also lost the red-hot freshman in Sean Chambers. In step Vander Waal, the starter for the first 8 games, and he kept that offense moving. Some key throws, the touchdown to Ishmael, and then the big 60-yarder to Mayfield.
Yeah, the big plays are going to be crucial, really, for both teams. There you take a look at the fullback dive. That's Cole Fagan up the middle. And then Fagan just does a good job finding his way to the end zone. Hammond's going to find Remsburg on the outside. He's the speedster, and here's the last touchdown. Is Hammond going to do a great job? It's blocked up perfectly by the Air Force Falcons up front, and here we sit 24-14. And partner, I just get the sense here that if you're Wyoming, every drive you've got to come away with points, because they have not been able to get off the field against this triple option attack of the Air Force Falcons.
Wyoming down 10. Conway from near the goal line shoots right up the middle. Conway out past the 30, and he is corralled at the 34. Strong return by Austin Conway, but Air Force has imposed their will on the ground. They have been able to change their fortunes from the last 2 meetings against this Wyoming defense.
And the last 2 times they've met up, it's been an average of 176 yards on the ground. Today, well above that. And obviously the weather is a factor, but they've been just gashing the Wyoming defense.
See what Tyler Vander Waal can do for the Cowboys on first down. They run the jet sweep coming to the near side. Nice little shake and bake. Up ahead for 5 yards. Conway, the ball carrier for the Cowboys.
And we talked about Conway earlier. Wasn't originally going to play football at Wyoming. Had a full scholarship. How about this? A full scholarship as a point guard to play on the basketball team. Actually redshirts his freshman year and then decides to make the switch and come out for the football team, and he has done a great job. Obviously, last season, he was Josh Allen's top target.
Caught 62 balls a season ago from Allen. His role has changed with the inexperience at quarterback, but it all started on the hardwood for Austin Conway. It's he redshirted his freshman year for Wyoming and head coach Alan Edwards. It was a joint effort, the communication between both Bull and Edwards, and Conway said football was always number 1 in his heart. He missed it being away from the sport the limited time he was, and obviously by his results, especially last year as a receiver, he was a key cog in this Wyoming offense and their run to a bowl victory. Big third down for the Cowboys. They need to get it to the 43. They will keep it on the ground, and Air Force shuts the door.
And that's where you miss Chambers. The running ability of Sean Chambers, who is out of the game with an injury, that's where he would be able to pick up that first down, those designed quarterback runs. And Vander Waal just doesn't have that athleticism. And I don't even really love the call, frankly, on 3rd and 7 to design quarterback run. I think it's a tough call without your running quarterback.
How about the game today by DeMonte Meeks? He had that last tackle in the backfield, stopping the Wyoming drive. Andrew Smith awaiting the punt. Good snap. Crow gets the kick away. End over end. Will bounce at the 15. Smith at the 10 goes down to a knee. You don't see that too often.
That was surprising.
But Air Force not wanting to risk a turnover in the elements. They will have the ball at their own 10-yard line. What a game this should be. 2 of the NFL's top teams. It's our Week 11 Monday Night Football match. Patrick Mahomes and the 9-1 Chiefs taking on Ty Gurley and the powerful Rams. 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN. Also simulcast in Spanish, show on ESPN News and on the ESPN app, so you can watch it anywhere. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6. What's the over-under on that one, buddy?
70. I think they said it was the highest they've seen ever in the NFL.
It's going to be a lot of fun. The Rams and the Chiefs on Monday night. Well, Air Force today is looking like those two high-powered teams, especially on the ground. Over 300 yards offense, 290 today rushing for Air Force, and they've done it with Remsburg, Fagan, and Hammond. That trio all above 60 yards today. Remsburg already above 100.
Well, this Wyoming defense better bow up, because in a hurry, Air Force could just run this quarter out on this drive. They could easily run 7 minutes off.
They go with the traditional I. Fagan on second down, and he is stopped. Granderson with his 9th tackle today, knifing his way in from the defensive end spot. And how he is slow to get up a little bit. Like he was in some discomfort.
Granderson's a big time player. Really came on the scene last year and just dominated. Was a first team all Mountain West defensive end and got on the radar of a lot of NFL scouts.
3rd down and short, up the middle, and 2nd and 3rd effort, twisting and turning his way forward. When the play was bottled up, Fagan pushes ahead for a 1st down.
That's that physicality of Fagan. He's not going to go down on first contact. This thing's bottled up in the backfield, and he just spins out of it, fights. You're right, 2nd effort, is able to pick up that 1st down. That's the mentality of Cole Fagan.
Garrett Krall had a chance at him. Logan Wilson with a crack. Neither could bring him down. Air Force, another 3rd down conversion. They run the option. Watch out. Remsburg hurdles up into the air. Tyler Hall catapults him. It's a 12-yard run and another Falcon 1st down.
This is what you do if you're Air Force. You lull the defense to sleep. You run a couple inside fullback dives, and just as the defense is starting to think you're going to come back inside, you run out to the perimeter. It catches the defense off guard, and you hit him with the speed too. Remsburg, don't like him jumping, always thinks bad things can happen when you go in the air, but a terrific job picking up the 1st down.
Back to power football. Wyoming does a nice job defending it. Antonio Hole was the first one to hit Saucier. If you're the Cowboys, if there's ever a time to create a turnover, this would be it. Remember, last year, Wyoming led the country. 38 takeaways. They were a plus 24. This year, that number way down, just the 12 turnovers forced. Can one of these seniors dial up a momentum changer for the Cowboys? 2nd down and 9. Hammond continues to manage that clock. He's going to throw. Hesitates, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Hammond also goes down.
That's why they don't throw the football, because if an incomplete pass occurs like it just did, now you're facing 3rd and 9. And you want to really go back to the air again if you're Air Force. This is going to be batted down. I'm not sure exactly gets a paw on. I think it's 87. Connor Kane, who's a team captain, who's a senior playing his last game here at War Memorial.
6 screws, a couple of plates in his ankle after a horrific injury last year. 3rd and short, little hitch to Bennett, makes the catch, and 3 and 4 Cowboys jump on him. This will all be depending on the forward progress, and I think he's going to be short. Marking him at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, I think Air Force is going to punt here. I would go for it, frankly. I would just keep the foot on the gas. Wyoming has shown no ability to stop your option attack on short yardage situations. I'm a little surprised.
Last 3 Wyoming possessions maybe in the line of thought, though, has been turnover and 2 punts. Their offense certainly has slowed down from what we saw in that first quarter. Conkey on the punt. High kick into this snow. Fair catch signal for at the 21.
Timeout on the field.
40-yard punt. Wyoming desperately hoping to get something started on offense. It's been a tough day offensively for Wyoming because of the injuries, not only losing Nico Evans, but also the freshman quarterback Sean Chambers. And look at the production, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns wiped out on that opening series.
A tough loss, and I was impressed the way Vander Waal came right in and led them to a couple of touchdown drives. But since those opening TDs, not much offense. And boy, it's got to be tough on that Wyoming sideline to know that the Mountain West leading rusher is not on the field, the senior, on senior day. That's got to be a tough loss.
Vander Waal is going to float right, looking to go deep. Now settles underneath on the crossing pattern. Price makes the catch. Good patience by Tyler Vander Waal. Fedulum with the escort out of bounds, but a good game for the Cowboys.
That really is a good throw on the move from Vander Waal. And really, when you look at the way this game is moving, it's really fast. A lot of running from really both squads, and with a 10-point deficit. Not ideal conditions for Vander Waal to come in with the snow and everything, but you're going to have to be able to throw the football.
Vander Waal's last action was 3 weeks ago, and they lost to Utah State. Bigelow with a collision inside the guards gets 3 yards. He was lifted at halftime, was really struggling. This offense was sputtering, so now an opportunity for the redshirt freshman to step up when the Cowboys need it the most, down 10 in this second half. He kept a positive attitude. He talked about the support that he had for Sean Chambers. The two young quarterbacks are very good friends. Chambers supported him when Vander Waal won the competition coming out of spring ball and fall camp, and Vander Waal returned the favor when Chambers replaced him. Safe pass over the middle, caught the tight end again, moving that pile close to a first down.
There's something else to keep an eye on here, Sean. With Chambers leaving this game, the plan was for him to redshirt this season, maybe play a little bit at the end of the year. But now because of the injury, maybe I don't know what the injury is, but does he play next week? Do they decide to bring him back in? At this point, you can actually still keep the red shirt on him.
Yeah, this would be his 4th game that he has played in. So if he does not come back next week, he preserves the red shirt. 3rd down, Vander Waal straight up the middle. Boy, he showed some toughness there, lowered the pads, lowered that leverage, and he'll pick up the first down. A much-needed first down for this Cowboy O.
Love the new redshirt rule, by the way.
Absolutely.
It allows guys as young players to get a little taste, to get some action. Obviously, you see the rule. Division I players now can participate in up to 4 games per season as a freshman and keep the red shirt on you. And a lot of teams, they use them strategically, especially when you get to the end of the season.
All these coaches have these fancy spreadsheets. I guarantee you in the locker room, games left, games played.
Yep.
Bigelow started right, cuts back over the middle, close to another Cowboy first down. He gets 9 yards, brought down by Fedulum and Parker Noren.
Look at just a really good block down there. That's Nate Weinman, the tight end, who really opens up the hole for Bigelow to run through as he goes off to the sidelines.
Bigelow in some discomfort, so here comes running back number 3, Xavier Valladay. Play fake, Vander Waal pumps, pressured, spins away, and now just flops it wildly into the air as he avoided the sack. Was he outside the pocket? Micah Capra put the heat on.
Ball will be on the line. Quarterback's out of the pocket.
Really, really good decision from Vander Waal. You can't take a sack in this situation. I thought he was going to easily go down as the pressure was coming on from DeMonte Meeks. You talked a lot about him there, Sean. He's played really, really well in this game. He came on strong in the second half last week against New Mexico. And a huge 3rd down coming up here. That sack would have taken you all the way back. Now 3rd and short.
We have the H-back, the tight end Mayfield to the left. They'll try to run behind his block. And Air Force says no. Jordan Jackson, the monster on this Air Force defensive line with the tackle. And Wyoming looking at 4th and a yard.
Well, there'll be no question that they will go for it here. But watch the push, and that's Jordan Jackson. He is just special. When you talk to anybody at Air Force or anyone around the program, he's the guy. He's the guy that jumps out at you. You say, this guy is a dude. And what I mean by that is he's different. He could play at any program in the entire country, yet he's here at Air Force, and he's making a difference on that defensive front.
Vander Waal quickly ducks in under center. He's going to keep it over that right side, and Air Force turns Wyoming away. No chance whatsoever as the Falcons are able to get through. And how about this story? It's Garrett Coppola, who has been out pretty much all season with a broken arm. Playing with a cast, making his return, one of the leaders of the secondary, comes up with a critical stop.
That's the second time you're going to go design quarterback run. Fourth down, Chambers is the runner. Vander Waal is more of the passer. I don't know about that call.
When it looked like just maybe that Wyoming was getting some momentum offensively, their drive stalls, and here comes Fagan. 10 more yards and a Falcon first down. Don't forget, coming up later over on ABC, our college football Saturday rolls on with another big one. This time it's a trip to the AAC. Number 24 Cincinnati taking on number 11 and unbeaten UCF. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. College football primetime presented by Walmart. Game day in Orlando did a terrific job. A lot of excitement. And you know, we've talked about the group of 5. It seems like this weekend these conferences are getting a lot of attention, and maybe the voices starting to be heard as far as possible playoff expansion.
That is the end of the third quarter.
15 minutes to go here in the snow in Laramie. Air Force is taking control. The Falcons on the road. Despite the elevation, having no trouble, they lead by 10 on senior day here in Laramie. Just a little bit of Air Force blue starting to peek through the clouds. Scenic setting in Laramie as we welcome you back alongside Dustin Fox, Sean Kinney, as we start quarter number 4. And it is an Air Force ground game that has unleashed the full arsenal of weapons today. For the second straight weekend, over 300 yards rushing. For the first time this year, a couple of Falcons go over the 100-yard mark.
Yeah, Fagan and Remsburg have been terrific this afternoon. They've been trouble for the Wyoming Cowboy defense all afternoon. And Sean, not to say the game is over, but boy, that last stop that Air Force created on 4th and 1 felt like a devastating blow to the chances for the Wyoming Cowboys.
When you play Air Force, especially the way they are running the football today, a 10-point deficit is more like a 21, 24-point setback just because of the way they can manage the game clock.
Especially when their offense is clicking. You know, when they're hitting on all cylinders like they are today. And I think really when you go back and look at what they did last week in their performance against New Mexico, it was phenomenal. And their offense put up season highs of rushing 478 yards on the ground, total yards 623. That is something to build off of. And when you have a quarterback like Donald Hammond and he is healthy, this offense is really, really going to take it to the next level. And they're so excited about the young sophomore quarterback.
That reverse pivot option by Hammond, he'll get 3 close to the 25-yard line. The ball popped free late. Wilson had the tackle. Halliburton ended up with the football, but progress was stopped.
Well, that's how they're going to get back in the game. If you want to find a way to give yourselves a chance here in the fourth quarter, every member of the Cowboy defense needs to be ball searching, trying to create a turnover to give your offense another opportunity. The last drive for the Wyoming offense, it wasn't terrible. You get out across midfield, you got a couple of chunk plays, but yet they stalled on 3rd and 1. They were stopped, and obviously on 4th and 1 they were stopped as well.
For your offensive coordinator, Mike Thiessen, you really have 2 plays to get 5 yards here. 3rd down and 5. With the snow, the field markings might be difficult to spot as you view at home. The ball at the 26-yard line. Saucier goes in motion. It's a quick hitter up the middle. Remsburg leaks into the pile. And a 4th down situation for Air Force coming up. Garrett Krall, the stop for Wyoming.
Again, an easy season, or easy situation, I should say, for Air Force to go for it. There you see on the season, 22 conversions on 4th down. Already 1 for 1 today, looking to go 2 for 2.
Wyoming just hasn't been able to get any tackle for losses today. This will be a prime time to get one. 4th down and a long yard for the Falcons.
Try to draw him off sides there with that early motion.
Fagan is the fullback. Rimsberg, the wingback to the left. 3 receivers set. Hammond's going to keep it. Follows Fagan, and a first down for Air Force. That quarterback keeper right over the guards, following Fagan. Golden today for the Falcons.
When you've got a quarterback who can run, you get that extra blocker in there. And Fagan isn't afraid to mix it up a little bit. We talked about his physicality as a runner. He just likes to hit people, so he doesn't mind being the lead blocker in the hole for Donald Hammond.
It's another red zone trip today for the Falcons. A perfect 3 for 3 on the afternoon. Fagan up the middle, barrels ahead. Hit by Winger. That's a collision wouldn't want to be a part of. You saw Fagan lower those pads, but Wingard's a guy that loves the contact from his safety position.
Yeah, watch 28 come up here. It's a little contact, right?
It's a textbook tackle, isn't it?
I don't even know who gets the better of it. I think it was just a good tackle from Wingard. We had a chance to walk past him yesterday in the High Altitude Performance Center, which we had a chance to take a peek at yesterday. And Wingard just has the locks. You can't miss the guy. He's walking around with the cutoff T-shirt on, the hair is waving. He's just a fun-looking, fun-loving football player.
Play clock was at 3 when Hammond took that snap. Rimsberg zigzagging left and right, hop-skipping his way into the pile. He'll pick up the first down, and the Falcons in cruise control, dominating this game. They'll have it 1st and goal, and Rimsberg slow to get up.
Timeout on the field.
It's been a career day for Caden Rimsberg. Right now, though, he's on his back. Trainers attending to the talented sophomore. Last week, Caden Rimsberg rushed for a career-high 99 yards. This week, he has topped that. 128 yards on the ground. Slowed, though, on that last tackle with an injury, but he was able to walk off on his own power, so we'll keep an eye on him. What an afternoon for the young sophomore, and we've talked about how rare it is for a young cadet to see significant carries in this Air Force offense, but that's how special Rimsberg is. 1st and goal from the 3. They give it to Fagan as he scrapes ahead. A flag flies in the vicinity of a hold. Fagan about a yard shy of the goal line, and let's see what Cal McNeil spotted.
Personal foul, shot block, number 87 and 28 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
That's the tight end Wagaspack along with Joseph Saucier.
It's that high-low, and if you watch the academies play, the triple option attack, you see a lot of these called. And you'll see Wagaspack, there's 87 coming in there over top of Parker Ferguson. It's a high-low block. An easy call. The first one of the game. Frank, I watched that Army-Navy game a couple weeks back. I think there was about 10 of those calls in that game.
You know, last week Air Force had a long 60-plus yard run from Bordeaux called back because of that type of play. So this pushes it back. 1st and goal. Quarterback keeper and a big hit put on. That time it was Mala'ulu who came through, and finally they were able to track down DJ Hammond.
There was a lot of stress put on Mala'ulu before the game. Him and Ravante Holt, the 2 interior defensive linemen. Defensive coordinator Scott Hazelton told us this week that both those 2 guys were going to face a lot of stress because he really thought that the fullback dive and the runs up the middle would be a factor. Well, there you see it. Those 2 guys stepping up inside.
If you're Wyoming, it becomes imperative to try to keep Air Force to just 3. Hammond's going to float toward the end zone just beyond the reach of Marcus Bennett. Wingard was in the vicinity with the coverage. 3rd down for the Falcons.
You may laugh, but an incomplete pass at this point with 9 minutes to go in the game is crucial because it stops the clock.
Absolutely.
When you're down 2 possessions, every single second is going to matter. And so I know there's a lot of time left, but Wyoming's got to get off the field here, at least force them to kick a field goal attempt. Huge third down coming up here.
Yeah, with these field conditions and the kicking game for Air Force, even if they don't pick up another yard, it won't be easy. Throwback screen with some blockers. Here goes the fullback Fagan, and he is tackled at the 3. Marcus Epps and Andrew Wingard in on the stop. They get a good chunk of yardage back, and they set up a much more manageable field goal for Conkey.
This is a nice little easy throw. Throwback screen. You get a good block down the field, and then Fagan cuts up inside, and now gives you a chance. It looks like they're going to take the 3 points, or at least attempt the field goal. I'm kind of surprised you don't leave the offense out there and try to make it a 3-score game.
Conkey today connected from 27 yards. This one a little more than a chip shot, and it hits the upright and scoots in. So a clanger finds its way through.
Timeout on the field
for the junior Jake Conkey, and he's 2 for 2 and trying to hold a little bit of a smile back as he comes to the Air Force sideline. It's been that type of afternoon for the cadets from Colorado Springs. They lead by 13 late in the fourth quarter. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. A snowy landscape as we move into the late afternoon here in Laramie. Heavy snow for a good chunk of this football game, but the snowfall has subsided a little bit. Fans hoping for a Cowboy rally as for more than 8.5 minutes to go, and the Cowboys down 13. That last stop, though, big by Wyoming, keeping this a 2-possession game, but they're going to have to open up the offense a little bit more now.
Going to need some chunk plays, and they're going to need to score in a hurry because there's just not enough time with 8 minutes and 44 seconds left in this ball game. Down 2 scores. The way their defense is played, their offense has got to come up big on this drive.
On the return, out past the 20, up to the 23-yard line. Coming up later on ABC, our college football Saturday rolls on with another big one. This is going to be fun, and it's in the American Athletic. Number 24, Cincinnati, 9-1, taking on number 11, UCF, as they look for their 23rd straight victory. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. And can UCF find out a way to slow down Michael Warren?
Former Mr. Football in the state of Ohio is just having a tremendous season for the Bearcats. 17 rushing touchdowns, second most in the country.
Vander Waal has only thrown the football 9 times today, but he's about to test that arm. Pressure comes, eludes the pocket, has some room to run, past the 30, 35, tackled out of bounds as he stepped out at the 39. Chased down by Kyle Johnson and Cody Gessler.
Now that's a good decision from Vander Waal. Don't force a throw. You see the open lane, take off, get what you can get, move the sticks, and put your offense in a position here to go get some points. And Craig Bull has done a terrific job here in his 5th season, and I loved our chat with him this week. Some of the things he talked about, he said, I'm not into all these uniforms. I'm not into guys who are asking, can I play right away? It's a different type of player they're looking for here at Wyoming as you see Vander Waal go down on the sack.
Cody Gessler with the sack as Vander Waal is toppled back at the 31-yard line. Gessler, the senior from Katy, Texas, 2-year player, enjoying his best season.
Since Craig Bull took over as coach here at Wyoming, they have 27 walk-ons that have earned scholarships in just 5 years. There's 7 walk-on to scholarship players on this roster, and it's really something that Coach Bull goes back to his days at Nebraska with. That's how you build a program.
It was such a pivotal part of Nebraska during their dominant run in the 90s. Good velocity on that throw by Vander Waal as he hooks up with Eberhardt for the second time. And Nebraska relied on that walk-on program, and who better to hear from Tom Osborne, and one of the best pieces of advice that he gave Craig Bull: we never say a guy is never going to play.
They were watching tape of a 4th-string fullback, and Coach Bull said to Coach Osborne, why are we watching this tape? He said, every player on the field gets evaluated. You never know when somebody can help your team win, and that is what he has taken with him. It's stuck with him, and that's what he has here at Wyoming.
Flag flies, pass goes incomplete. This one's probably going to be a hold up front. No time whatsoever for Vander Waal to pick and choose.
And if this is a hold, it's going to back you up, and there is no time to consider punting the football away at all. You're in 4-down territory, absolutely.
Number 62, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
4th down coming up for the Cowboys with 6:45 to go. I don't think they can punt the football here, can they?
No, you can't punt the football.
Cowboys huddling over on the Wyoming sideline.
Wyoming.
And
the first time out of the half.
They know this is a pivotal play coming up, so they're going to use a timeout. We'll take a break. It's now or never for Tyler Vander Waal and this Cowboy offense. 4th and 6, trailing by 13 on Senior Day.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
Some of the seniors playing at War Memorial Stadium for the first time. Connor Kane and this senior class, 16 of them watching closely. 4th down over the middle, incomplete. Wyoming wanted a flag, and here comes one late. On the slant, some contact, and the Cowboys keep that candle lit.
Going to get a little bit bailed out here, but it's the right call, I think. I saw a lot of contact as the ball was delivered.
Pass interference. Number 6, defense. Ball be placed in the spot of foul. Automatic 1st down.
Zane Lewis, number 6, gets a little bit too aggressive, coming in trying to break the pass up. And it's a huge penalty, frankly, because it keeps the drive alive. Watch 6, top of your screen. And again, he's working against Price. Yeah, a lot of contact. That's an easy call.
It's just the 3rd penalty today for Air Force. Wyoming has only been penalized once. Drive stays alive for the Cowboys. Vander Waal, a play fake, shoots toward the side, hits the lid, and then is nearly intercepted. A couple of Falcons had their hands on it. It was Coppola who nearly had the pick. Bug then nearly had it off the deflection.
Hit 3 different players' hands. It's a corner route, and the ball's thrown just a little bit behind.
That hit the back
James
of Noren.
Price. Yeah, it hit the back of number 44, Parker Noren. Pops up in the air and is nearly intercepted by 2 defenders.
Vander Waal, 7 of 12 for 129 yards. They give it to Conway, and a good open space tackle is made. Conway driven down hard by Zane Lewis.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Tyree Mayfield, the big tight end who made a bunch of big plays early in this football game. Had a couple of chunk plays, and he hasn't really been targeted, I don't think, since the first quarter.
3 catches today for Mayfield. He had 97 yards in that first quarter alone.
And where's he at? I'd be looking to get the football into the hands of my big tight end here.
Austin Fort is the tight end. He's the H-back in this formation. 3rd down and 9. Vander Waal with a pocket. Throws, and a nice midair adjustment is made by Price. And a 1st down for the Cowboys. A throw a bit behind, but Price made the adjustment, and another Wyoming 1st down.
Not a great throw, but it's a really, really good catch. Watch him. He still bobbles it a little bit because his hands are probably a little bit cold and a little bit wet. Does a great job hauling that in. That's a huge conversion.
17 yards in the completion. 1st down, Wyoming. Air Force rushes 4. Little floater looking for Price again. Could not get the head turned around. Coverage by Fedulum.
This would be a tough catch. Trying to go to James Price. Yesterday we had a nice little chat with Brent Vegan, the offensive coordinator, and he said James Price has really come on this season, become that complete wide receiver, arguably their top wide receiver.
Conway and Eberhardt split left. Price by himself at the bottom. 2nd down, nothing open over the middle. They were looking for Mayfield. Now Vander Waal throws, and it's caught. Conway makes the catch, tackled by Coppola. Nice job there by Tyler Vander Waal.
It really was. He had a lot of pressure in his face. You're going to see Micah Capra come in here off the edge, and then Vander Waal escapes the pressure and delivers a strike on the money on the run. Big time throw.
Clock starts up again. Wyoming rushes into that red zone. Here's a velocity throw, knocked away. Good quick hands by Fedulum. He's their star in the secondary. We've talked about these Wyoming safeties, but they have a good one in Jeremy Fedulum.
You may recognize that name if you're a fan of the National Football League. His older brother Clayton is a safety for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he looks up to his brother. Came to Air Force as a cornerback. Was really vying for time, trying to find his way onto the field this year. Doing a great job as the starting free safety for the Falcons defense.
Yeah, he's only been playing safety about 4 months. Hard cadence by Vander Waal, and he gets Air Force a bit antsy to jump off sides.
Yeah, I think Conway may have moved first, though, Sean. In the slot, he definitely jumped. Be interesting to see who they get.
Ball start, number 25.
Good eyes,
offense.
Dustin.
5-yard penalty, main second down.
It's going to be Austin Conway with a little flinch from that slot position. As we take another look.
You see the guys up
offensive
front,
line
yeah.
was okay, but it was Conway a little bit too antsy to get started on that route. 2nd and 15. Still time for Wyoming. The ball at the 24. Here comes the blitz, and Vander Waal dodges, throws across the field. Incomplete. Looking for Conway as Air Force dialed up some pressure.
A little bit of a delayed blitz from Air Force, and the pressure obviously forced Vander Waal to step up in the pocket. There was a fastball out there to Conway.
This Wyoming offensive line having a tough time handling Jordan Jackson. Just keep an eye on number 94 for the Falcons. He's lined up front with Micah Capra and Cody Gessler on this 3rd down. 5 minutes exactly to go. Wyoming trying to pull off some late magic. 3rd and 15. Pressure comes. Vander Waal throws, and it's caught at the sticks and a 1st down. Again, it's James Price. Fedulum with the tackle.
3rd and 15? Are you kidding me? No problem. Watch the pressure on Vander Waal on the outside. Steps up, knows he's going to take a shot potentially, and delivers a strike to James Price, number 80. 1st and goal for the Cowboys.
The running back is Valladay. Remember, no Nico Evans and no Javon Bigelow, both out with injuries. Valladay on that zone read. It's going to be a keeper by Vander Waal. Touchdown, Wyoming. Don't go anywhere quite yet.
Hope you didn't head to 3rd Street too soon, because we've still got a football game left. 4 minutes, 32 seconds. Vander Waal leads a terrific drive here, and it's going to be capped off by a read option. Great decision from Vander Waal to, at the mesh point, keep the football and run it in for an easy touchdown. 13 plays, 76 yards, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. But remember, they did burn a timeout in that drive. On that 4th and 7, they burned a timeout. That could come up huge down the stretch. How about these Cowboys coming back 27-21. Air Force on top.
Craig Bowl has watched Wyoming and his Cowboys march down the field, an impressive 13 plays, 76-yard drive, and now the question becomes, Dustin, does Wyoming think onside kick with the 2 timeouts, a little more than 4.5 minutes?
I don't know, Sean, how you don't go for the onside kick here. I think you have to. You haven't been able to stop Air Force. You only have 2 timeouts. I think you absolutely kick the onside kick.
With the approach, Roth with the kick, and Wyoming's going to put some faith in this senior-laden defense as Air Force will take over at the 25-yard line. This has been a fun one. Sean Kinney alongside Dustin Fox, and 2 teams, 2 Mountain West rivals colliding for the 39th consecutive year. We had a little bit of snow today, and now it comes down to the final 4 minutes.
It does, and this Wyoming defense has not been able to stop Air Force all day. Only 2 timeouts remain. I think a couple first downs for the Falcons, and that'll put this one away.
362 yards today for this Air Force ground attack. They would love to add a few more here. The crowd at the Warm making some noise, and a good start for the Cowboys on first down. Granderson, the playmaker, with the stop.
Well, there's that senior. Out of Sacramento, California, has been through a lot. Had a death in the family a week or so ago and missed the last ball game due to a funeral, and is now back with the squad, and they're happy to have him back because he's such a vital, impactful player on that defense. And again, that's a great stop on first down. You talk about keeping them behind the sticks. 2nd and 10. This is where you want to be if you're Wyoming, and I think you start to consider the timeouts after this play.
He takes the snap with a second on the play clock. Hammond gets a hard yard, and a 3rd down and 8 for Air Force.
I would consider a timeout here. With it being 3rd and 7, you're not going to get too many 3rd and longs against this Air Force triple option attack. And again, watch the aggressive nature, and it's Granderson who really sets the edge and allows Garrett Krall to come in from the backside for the stop.
3rd down and 8 for Air Force. Wyoming with the 2 timeouts. Can they get the football back one more time? Out of the wing tee, Hammond a reverse pivot, trying to follow a block, and Wyoming slams the door. Granderson and Marcus Epps, and the Cowboys force a 3 and out.
Now you have to hit your timeout.
Timeout, Wyoming.
Great decision. I really
The
think
second of that half, 32nd in length.
that last touchdown drive did something to that sideline. You can almost feel it. They're not a huge crowd here, let's be honest. But the folks that are here, they're alive, they're electric, they've withstood the elements today, the 18 degrees, the snow. There's Pistol Pete. I got a chance to take a picture with him before the game. The fans are excited, and the offense that just went 75 yards on that last drive for a touchdown with Vander Waal at the helm, throwing darts, by the way, to Price and company on the outside. They're going to get the football back with a chance to go win the football game.
How about the faith in his defense from Craig Bohl not to go with the onside kick? He trusted his seniors, and it pays off. And
Look,
now,
partner, I'm an analytics guy, right? So I'm going to look at it from a standpoint of what gives me the best chance to get another possession. I would have still kicked an onside kick, but I don't know this squad. I didn't know that they would step up and bow up the way they did on that last drive, that defense of the Cowboys.
Conway awaits the punt, rushes up with the fair catch at the 41-yard line. 59 yards away from where Wyoming needs to be. Don't forget Sports Center tonight after Arizona, Washington State on ESPN with Zubin and John Anderson. They'll break down how today's games will affect the college football playoff rankings, plus LeBron's reaction to the Lakers' recent surge and an inside look at the Golden State offense without Steph. Sports Center after college football on ESPN and the ESPN app. Tyler Vander Waal, the starter at the beginning of the season, started the first 8 games, lost the job less than 3 weeks ago, and now here he is back in the line of fire. On first down, nearly intercepted. Zane Lewis had both hands on it.
Boy, that is a dangerous throw, and the Pokes just got real lucky there on first down. This should have been intercepted. Watch, you're going to throw this into double coverage. He scans the field. He doesn't even see Zane Lewis playing inside technique, and Lewis nearly comes away with a game-clinching interception. That's a huge break.
Movement up front, and the right guard, Caden Jackson, came out of his stance.
Number 61 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And he just smacked the ground because he knows how big that is. That's a senior playing his last home football game here. 35 starts for the right guard. Watch the reaction. He knows it. Got to be better than that. He's mad at himself. Can't have it.
Price has been the hot hand. He's the receiver at the bottom. Eberhardt and Conway to the top. Out of the shotgun for Tyler Vander Waal. Looking left all the way, fires down the sideline. Another dangerous throw. Milton Bug the third with the coverage. 3rd and 15 for Wyoming.
Now, Sean, you don't have to pick it all up here, okay? Clearly, 4-down territory, no doubt about that. They're taking the deep shots. They're looking for the home run here, trying to find Conway down the field. Again, I ask you, where is Tyree Mayfield? The tight end has not been seen since the first quarter.
Mayfield on the line of scrimmage, 3-point position to the right. 3 receivers set, 3rd and 15. Air Force drops 8 into coverage. Vander Waal with some time. Now he's going to scoot up ahead, and he's tripped from the backside by Jordan Jackson. The playmaker all afternoon and really all season comes up with a key stop.
I would consider using my final timeout and drawing up the best possible play you can on 4th and 10.
Timeout, Wyoming. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
And that's exactly what Craig Bohl is going to do. Now listen, that last play was not the end of the world because it was 3rd and 15. At least he picks up 6 yards and makes it somewhat of a manageable 4th and 9. No, 4th and 9 is manageable, by the way. It's a tough spot to be in, but I think a good decision. Call timeout. That's what they did the last time on 4th and 7. And they came back, and they were able to get the penalty for the first down. Sean, if I'm Craig Bohl in this offensive staff, I'm going to either go to James Price, who's my sure-handed wide receiver, or again, Tyree Mayfield, who I don't understand for the life of me, hasn't been targeted since the first quarter.
We'll see which option the veteran coach Bohl goes with on this 4th down play. 4th and 9. Play of the game coming up for the Cowboys. Who will they turn to? No Sean Chambers, no Nico Evans, no Javon Bigelow. They need to get it to the Air Force 48. The Falcons bring a delayed blitz. Vander Waal in trouble, escapes the pocket, looks downfield, nothing open, sets, fires, caught, and a first down for the Cowboys at the 45-yard line. It's Valladay out of the backfield. Oh, how about the magic from Vander Waal?
Are you kidding me? This is an unbelievable play from Vander Waal, and it's really a great decision, too, because he knows he's got to get the first down. No one's open here, can't take a sack, buys himself some time, and finds Valladay down the field.
All sorts of time, home run, looking for Mayfield, incomplete. Air Force targeting number 85 that time.
Let's go back and take a look at the magician himself. Vander Waal scrambles outside the pocket. There's 3 Air Force defenders there. He knows he's going to take a shot, and boy, does he take a big one from Lakota Wills, number 8 from Air Force, and finds Valladay.
Number 4, defense, prior to the pass. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Wow. Defensive holding, Milton Bug. It happened way at the top of the field near the Wyoming sideline, so the Cowboys get the automatic first down, and they inch a little bit closer at the 35-yard line. Still tons of time, however, the Cowboys without a timeout. Valladay, the running back, flanks Vander Waal to his right. Air Force brings the delay blitz, shot downfield, incomplete. Looking for James Price. Help over the top by Fedulum. If you're Wyoming, Dustin, you can still go over the middle. You have plenty of time.
Oh, goodness. You have 2 minutes. There's so much time. In college football, that's an eternity. I don't know why you're taking the deep shots, trying to get it all in one play. And now you just wore out your top receiver, making him run a 50-yard sprint in the altitude.
So he leaves. Rocket Ishmael Jr. is the slot checking in. He has a touchdown earlier today. They go to Ishmael over the middle. Makes the catch. Cannot shake free from Noren. He's close to a first down. A gain of 9. Clock continues to move. 3rd and a yard.
Well, you can still run the football here.
Absolutely.
And the way that the Pokes have been managing their 3rd and 4th and shorts, it's been design quarterback run. I wouldn't be shocked here.
Boy, this could be a killer penalty on Wyoming.
Illegal snap, number 73 offense, 5-yard penalty, Third down.
That's Keegan Kreider, who had never played center in his life up until this season, but has done a nice job for Craig Bull. It cost him 5 yards. Now 3rd and 6. Penalty takes it back to the 31. High snap, Vander Waal corrals, throws underneath. There's your guy. Mayfield makes the catch. He is pushed out of bounds at the 23. A Pope first down. 4th catch of the day for the tight end, Tyree Mayfield.
Been calling it all afternoon. Where's Mayfield? And a really great save by Vander Waal on a bad snap. Delivers the football to Mayfield, picks up the first down, keeps the drive alive. And boy, does that save Keegan Kreider's behind, because he knows he made a mistake on that snap infraction. Huge first down.
From the 22, Vander Waal a play fake. Jackson with the pressure. Vander Waal throws a laser. It was a BB. Tough catch to handle if you're Xavier Valladay. But it was Jackson, the disruptor, who forced Vander Waal out of the pocket.
Got a fun one coming down the stretch here, partner. Never would have thought. Never would have thought down 2 scores with 8 minutes to go that we'd be in a position here with Wyoming basically getting pushed around on defense, frankly. And they finally got one stop. Their quarterback, their backup quarterback in the game. You lose your starting running back and your starting quarterback on the opening drive. And here you are.
And you lose your backup running back in the process as well. 2nd down. Time for Vander Waal toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Austin Conway! Unbelievable!
Not only is this such a great throw from Vander Waal, Austin Conway
Ruling on the field is a touchdown. Targeting number 25 on the defense.
He knows
under further review.
He's going to take a lick. There's a big-time shot delivered at the end of this throw, and somehow it's cold, it's icy. You're trying to win a game for your seniors. Look at this catch. The concentration down the middle of the field. You're going to take a blow. Fedulum's probably going to be ejected. I think they said 25, but I think it was number 2 came in with the targeting call. And that's going to be an easy targeting call, and number 2 is going to be out, I believe.
He lost his mouth guard, but he held on to the football on the big hit by Fedulum. And what a story developing in Laramie for Tyler Vander Waal. What a throw.
But let's remember, you still have to kick a PAT in the snow. And you've got a kicker here who has been excellent all season long.
After review, is confirmed number 2 targeting on the defense. He's disqualified for the game.
It's a tough ending for a terrific player in Jeremy Fedulum, who went for that big bone-jarring hit to try to pry that ball loose. But Austin Conway absorbed the hit, held on to the football, and now it's Cooper Roth, one of the best kickers in college football.
On the kickoff.
A Groza semifinalist on to attempt the point after. He's been perfect this year to try to give the Cowboys the improbable 1-point lead late in this game. Jesse Hooper is the snapper. Hold is down, kick is through, and Wyoming with a furious 4th quarter rally. Craig Bull's Cowboys go up 1.
You have to love the effort. You have to love the never quit, never say die mentality of all those guys in that Cowboys sideline, because I'm telling you what, partner, we talked about it up here in the booth. It felt like the game was over. That 13-point lead, that 10-point lead at times, felt like 3 scores. And somehow, Tyler Vander Waal and this offense come through with 2 touchdown drives here in the 4th quarter to take the lead. And really, I have to give a lot of credit to the Cowboy defense who got gashed all afternoon But when they needed one stop, their defense bowed up. They got a 3-and-out. They got the football back to Vander Waal. And what does he do? He goes right down the field again to give him the lead. Now, the football game's not over because Donald Hammond's still going to have something to say about this if you're an Air Force fan. But with only a minute to go, their offense has to be opened up a little bit. It's not designed to play from behind with a minute to go the length of the field. And you also have a penalty. The targeting will be assessed on this kickoff here.
What a feeling this must be for Tyler Vander Waal, especially the way the year has went. You just never know when your number is going to get called, and he has responded in a big way. And now Air Force will try to counter Vander Waal's heroics. 225 through the air, a couple of touchdowns, and you go back to that fourth down conversion for the Cowboys where he just kept buying time, and at the last possible second found his running back.
And just great awareness to know that you have to get a first down. You can't throw it down the field. You can't throw it short of the sticks. He buys himself some time. He's an absolute magician. I don't know how he did it, but he's got themselves the lead in this football game.
Hammond the throw, tipped, and it's intercepted by Wilson. The governor of Wyoming is how they tab him. He wanted to be a Cowboy his entire life, and he comes up with the pick and sends the Wyoming sideline into a frenzy.
What a way to finish the football game. You said it. The governor. Logan Wilson in the middle of that defense, his second interception of the season, his 7th career pick, could not have come at a better time for the Cowboys. The stadium's alive, partner. It's not full, but it's alive. And everybody watching at home, if you're a Cowboy fan, you probably can't believe what you just saw. Because nobody thought the Cowboys would come back and win this football game. The governor, he thinks people are crazy for going to another school other than Wyoming. Grew up rooting for the Cowboys. Signs autographs for hours after practice. Huge, huge play.
Hollywood could not have scripted a better ending if you're Wyoming, with everything that has happened in this game. Valladay on first down. Air Force still with some timeouts. They'll burn one here. 58 seconds to go.
Timeout, Air Force, the first of the half. 32nd in length.
Ball security important here.
Second timeout of the half.
Look at that young man. They call him Dewey. Andrew Wingard, your senior, 6 foot, 214 pounds. I love the locks. He's a bad dude. I'm telling you what, I talked to a couple people again in the NFL who say this guy will play in the league. He may not be a starter, but he'll play 10 years. He'll be a 4-phase special teams guy. I think he's got a chance to get drafted. He reminds me of one of my old teammates, John Wendling, who played for the Cowboys way back when, who was a teammate when I was with the Buffalo Bills. Played a long time in the National Football League, making a paycheck, covering kicks, being a backup safety, finding his way in. I think this guy can play in the league. I've been so impressed watching him in my film study as we prepare for this football game.
Air Force can stop the clock one more time, and if you're the Falcons, unless they can get a miraculous turnover, and you don't put anything past you today, as Valladay,
stay in bounds,
running hard, will be tracked down by Norn. Now Air Force will use their third and final timeout. A little more than 50 seconds to go.
The third and final timeout of the half.
Wyoming with the 1-point lead. Don't forget, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. Tyler Vander Waal started the first 8 games this year for Wyoming. He was replaced 3 weeks ago in the loss against Utah State. With the injury today to Chambers, he came out gunning, especially in the first quarter. The offense went quiet, but he saved the best for last. And that last drive, this 4th down throw to keep this comeback going as he found Valladay, and then the strike threading the needle. The touchdown to Conway, and the redshirt freshman from Elk Grove, California. Right now he is 52 seconds away from dialing up a pretty special win. Valladay's going to cap it off with an exclamation point. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Somebody call up Scott Van Pelt.
Holding, number 62 offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
That was almost a bad beat on Monday night.
Rudy Stouffer with the holding call at the point of attack. Wipe out the touchdown run by Valladay.
I don't know what the confusion is.
Take a look at the right-hand side of the screen with Valladay, and there is the hold. Rudy Stouffer, the starting right tackle, coming back from injury.
I think they may decline the penalty because then they can get the ball back with one score. Excuse me, that makes sense. Okay. That's what they're talking about. They don't want to decline the penalty.
They'll take the penalty as far as declining it, letting the play stand, resulting in the touchdown, and that keeps hope alive for Air Force. That gives them a chance to get the football back.
Game would be over. It'd be an automatic first down, and the game would be over. So instead, I think you have to keep the points on the board.
The penalty for offensive holding has been declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
And that may end up being on bad beats on Monday night.
So in the end, it's the freshman Valladay who scores. Quick thinking by Troy Calhoun. And take a look at the reaction from Mr. Wilson. What's going on? Not on your same page right there, Dustin.
Yeah, and a big PAT here, because if some way, some shape or form, Air Force goes down and scores a touchdown, they'd still need to get the 2-point conversion.
Roth with the point after, and it is good. So Wyoming scores again. The Cowboys behind a big fourth quarter. They lead by 8. On the return from the goal line, Air Force with the throwback on the kick return, trying to catch Wyoming over pursuing, but the throw was offline from Gerard Sanders, the starting wide receiver, as he tried to hook up with Rimsberg and get that sophomore in open space. Chambers and Evans left the game on the first drive for Wyoming. Vander Waal came in off the bench and saved his best performance of the season for the final 15 minutes of this football game. 4 total touchdowns, 2 rushing, 2 throwing, as Wyoming has outscored the Falcons in this fourth quarter rally 21-3. And now Air Force with 39 seconds. Hammond and no timeouts will go to work toward the near side. A skidding catch is made by Marcus Bennett.
And it's a really good throw from Hammond because it allows his wide receiver to get out of bounds. With no timeouts remaining and an offense not built to go the length of the field, you've got to do everything you can to convert and get out of bounds. You see Hammond's not happy.
Letting some precious time off the clock. Finally takes the snap. Hammond sets. This one sailed on him, and it's picked off. An interception by Wingard, and Wyoming about to party on a snowy Saturday night in Laramie.
He was a 2-star recruit out of high school. He had one offer. It was Wyoming. Andrew Wingard comes up with a huge play on senior day. Look how excited that young man is. He was 170 pounds when he came to Wyoming. He's 210 pounds. He's a starting strong safety, all-mountain conference 2 times. Special player. Craig Bull's going to miss him. Talk about a way to cap off your senior season.
It's his 10th career interception. Flags for the celebration coming up in just a moment.
Took his helmet off on the field.
A number of Wyoming players also coming onto the field to congratulate Wingard. Look at that box score today. 13 tackles. He's number 2 all-time
after the play
in Wyoming history.
Conduct. Coming on the field without your helmet, number 17 of the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. The result's still first down Wyoming.
So we go back one more time to the interception as Wingard read the eyes of Hammond. One of the top tacklers in the history of this university seals the deal for the Cowboys. And you look at it for Wyoming and what Craig Bull has been able to do. The Cowboys looking to secure their third straight win, this late season push. A team that started a true freshman at quarterback the last couple of weeks. A team that features a running back in Nico Evans who hardly saw the football his first 4 years on the field. Did not transfer. Stayed with the process. Is going to win the Mountain West rushing title more than likely. A number of walk-ons for Coach Bull. No individualism, no names on the back of the jerseys. This is how he runs a program, and today they showed some of that fourth quarter toughness in a rousing comeback as they knock off Air Force 35-27.
They say ride for the brand. Big-time performance here in the fourth quarter from the Cowboys. 3 touchdown drives. Never would have thought this would be the case. If you watched the first 3.5 quarters of this game, you would have thought that Air Force was going to cruise to victory. But that was not the case. That young man right there, Tyler Vander Waal, was forced into action because of their injury to a starting quarterback, Sean Chambers. Didn't play great, but he played great when it mattered in the fourth quarter.
A thriller in the snow in Laramie. Wyoming picks up their third straight win. They improved to 5-6. Tough loss for Air Force. The Falcons were in control of this game. Dominated the ground game pretty much all afternoon up until that final series when Wyoming needed one stop. The Cowboy defense was able to get it.
I think they play for their seniors. You've got 16 seniors here on senior day, your last game as a Cowboy. It's snowing. It's perfect Wyoming conditions. The locals love it. The players love it. 7,200 feet. Are you kidding me? And to come back down 3 scores? Unbelievable. Down 13 points in the fourth quarter. This game felt like they were down 35 points, the way that Air Force was running up and down the field. And this has been a series, and we talked with the coaching staff this week a little bit. It's becoming a little bit of a rivalry, I think. It's not the Colorado State. It's not
that border war.
It's not the border war, but it's close enough. It's only a 3-hour drive from Colorado Springs up here to Laramie, and it has become a bit of a rivalry. Now, Wyoming will try to tighten up the series. It's 28-26 all time. Air Force leads the series.
Third straight win in this series for Wyoming. They've now won 5 of the last 6 meetings against Air Force. This one will be remembered for a long time if you're a Cowboy fan, especially if you're one of those 16 seniors that were recognized before the kickoff today. Andrew Winger joins us down on the field. And Andrew, first off, congratulations. You talk about a roller coaster of emotion over the last 60 minutes. Take us through that fourth quarter. No panic from your experienced squad.
No, not at all. Hey, I got to give my hats off to Tyler Vander Waal. My gosh, I mean, a guy who gets benched middle of the season, comes back in and balls out. I mean, that's the type of program we're trying to build, and we never quit, and we didn't tonight. And I think our defense, it just shows. We played terrible for three quarters, if I'm not lying, but you know, we stuck around and got some stops we needed to. So excited. Sorry, I was running around the field. I can't breathe.
Andrew, love watching you play. You come up with the big interception to cap off the victory. It is senior day. Talk about the feeling and what is going through your mind right now is you guys were down 13 points on senior day, and you guys are walking off the field with a victory.
Yeah, there was no quit, you know. I remember 3 years ago there'd probably be some quit in this team, but like I said, Coach Bull, as we did those guys out, we got everyone bought into this culture of never quitting, and it showed tonight. We just battled, man, and it was awesome to get a win like that.
Take us through that last series. I thought Craig Bull showed the confidence in this defense when he elected not to go with the onside kick. He had faith in you guys. What was the change-up defensively to get that final stop that you needed?
We got out of single high, and we honestly just went man for man. We call it bullets. You know, I have the fullback, the alley guys got the wings, and we just had a man on a man, and that's what we did. There was really no fear right there from Coach Bull and Coach Hayes. And, you know, we needed to get a stop, and those were the plays on the call sheet for must stop, and we ran them and we executed them.
Andrew, congratulations. We'll let you go enjoy this one with your buddies. What a win today for Wyoming.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Andrew Wingard, it was a record-setting day for him as he continues to work his way up the tackle charts, number 2 all-time at Wyoming with his 13 stops today. And just a storybook ending for the Wyoming Cowboys. And the hero of the moment right now, Tyler Vander Waal, the redshirt freshman from Elk Grove, California today. 14 of 26, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, including the game winner. What's going through your emotions right now as you look up at that scoreboard and see what you just steered in this fourth quarter comeback?
Oh man, it's incredible. I feel numb right now. It's 20 degrees, but it feels like I feel like I'm 110 degrees hot right now. It's unbelievable. I'm speechless. It still doesn't seem real right now.
Tyler, 4th and 9, and somehow you spin away from 3 defenders like a magician and find your running back over the middle of the field, Valladay. Take us through that play. What the heck were you thinking? It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was 4th down. I knew we had to do something, and that was if we didn't get that, you know, the game was kind of over. So just knew we had to make a play, and luckily he was there and he caught the ball, and, you know, all credit to him. And, you know, he did everything to catch that ball, and I can't credit this team enough for how hard we kept fighting.
You have such a tight relationship with Sean Chambers. He supported you when you won the job out of camp. You supported him over the last 3 weeks. What's it mean to deliver for the Cowboys a victory, filling in on what was a tough day for Chambers with that injury?
It's, you know, we always have the mentality, we have next man up, and we always talk about that. I knew I was 1 play away, and when he went down, I was ready to go. And, you know, it sucks seeing a guy go down like that, but I knew my number was going to be called and I had to be ready to go, and I knew I had to step up and make plays.
You were certainly ready to go. 4 touchdowns, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Tyler Vander Waal and the Wyoming Cowboys. Nobody wants to leave the war on this Saturday. They'll play on for a few more hours. The Cowboys celebrate an 8-point win.
Fun to be a part of something special. You can see what Craig Bohl is building here at Wyoming. It's going to be special.
Once again, our final score, Wyoming 35, Air Force 27. For Dustin Fox, Sean Kinney, our entire crew, so long from Laramie. Let's head to goal line. It's coming up right now.